Hello. We got a thunderstorm moving in, so I'm going to try to make a quick video here on the Sig Sauer 556. Now this is a semi-automatic version of the 551, which Sig Sauer has offered for many years, actually by their parent company, Swiss Arms. Now this operates on a reciprocating charging handle. The main design of this rifle is actually pretty indicative between the AR-15 and the AK-47. It's got a side folding stock that actually latches on the back side here. If I can push it in. And then it's got a piece on the stock here that interfaces with the front handguard. Now, all you got to do is just hit it from the opposite side, swings out, locks in place. The red dot I have on mine is a Sightmark FSR. Now this features a 2 MOA dot. Nice thing is with it, I've got an American Defense Manufacturing QD mount. This sight actually does take a T1 footprint, so any mount system that offers in a T1, you can mount it to your Sightmark FSR. Now back to the rifle, I did have a couple of upgrades I did to it. I put a Hogue Industries grip on that has no finger grooves on it. I'm not a huge fan of the finger grooves. And on the opposite side, I've actually got it set up with a Krebs Custom throw lever. So this is a lot easier to manipulate. Of course, if I'm from the opposite side, from your strong hand side here, my sling keeps getting in the way. It's easier to grab up and manipulate it here than what the original stock safety is. Now the original stock safety is an ambidextrous safety, so if you were right or left-handed, it did work for you, but it kind of had a large throw up there. It was hard to get your thumb up in order to actuate it. Now with that, this is the only ambidextrous feature on the rifle, was the safety. Going back to the charging handle, the charging handle is removable. All you got to do is pull down on that little system there, and the interesting feature is you've got a plunger up here. You could rotate your gas plug. It's been a while, I got to remember how to do this. And then your gas plug will come out, and you can disassemble the entire piston rod out of the gun without disassembling the rest of the gun. So you could clean this off and then got to make sure the action's forward. Slide this back in place. Reinsert your charging handle. Charging handle will lock back in place. Get my sling out of the way. So now all you got to do is reinstall your gas plug. And the gas plug actually has an up on one side and a B on the other side, so they apparently made it as simple as possible to reinstall the gas plug. You just got to push your little detent back down in order to push this gas plug back in place. The gas plug is, now I should show, obviously this weapon is completely clear. You got a detent here, you can push it in, and this will allow you to have two different gas settings. If I flip it back to the right location, you have an adverse and a standard gas setting. All the shooting I do is in the standard, so the up is facing true up, and then to disassemble it and remove it, you can just pull it out, simple as that. And then for major field stripping, you have a push pin on the back, so you can hinge the rifle open similar to what an AR-15 is. You could pull your charging handle back out and then completely remove the bolt from the gun. Now the bolt just slides right out, and the bolt itself and the carrier is a little bit different from what an AK is. but it still has the same kind of cam groove on it and the same kind of a bolt system as what the AK uses. Let me see here. Guess we got to rotate it out like that. There we go. Not so easy to do when you're on camera. All right. Of course, I haven't cleaned my rifle in quite a while. And that is a quick overview of the Sig556. The other thing I should mention is this does have a removable rear diopter sight. So you do have multiple, I can rotate it here, multiple little like holes drilled here, and then the one that's got the V-notch is designed for close range or 25-yard shooting. You have a sight in the front that has a regular hood, and the interesting thing is you can take this hood and the hood will drop when you're lining your sight up right into this rear notch. Or if you're going to be dialing on either the 1, 2, or 300-yard diopters, that round optic will, that front sight will sit perfectly in the actual peep of the rear. So it's an easy way to make sure you got your sights lined up properly. I really like that feature. This is a feature that was taken from the G3 and the MP5 series of rifles. So that should be pretty much everything that's kind of major on my Sig556. The cool thing is with the 556, this is a Lancer magazine. Now this will also accept the P magazine, which is very common with like your AR-15 platform, and really pretty much all AR-15 style magazines. So that is one big addition to this platform. So it does not use the proprietary Sig551 version of magazine that all the other 500 series rifles that Sig Sauer manufactured did, I should say. So that is one nice addition to the 556 when it was available here on the US market. Now this was the older Swiss style furniture, so it has the original Swiss style forend, and of course, as you saw before, the side folding stock. That's why I opted for this one. They had some more tactical looking versions that had quad rails on the front of them and an AR-15 style stock on the back, but I wanted something that looked more like the original Sig 500 series rifles. The other neat addition to this was later on they introduced the XI version, which was a complete ambidextrous rifle that had a charging handle that you could swap from the left and right hand side of it in order to basically be more user customizable, if I can speak here. Words are difficult. And then from there, of course, it's going to be the platform that everybody now knows by Sig Sauer, this MPX and the MCX rifles and pistols, SMGs, SBRs, you know it, you name it. That all came after the XI program. So obviously, as far as US import was, this has all gone to the wayside to make room for the much improved system that is the MCX, which is a total AR piston operated hybrid system that kind of a cross between the AR-15 and the old Armalite AR-180. So definitely there's many videos on that. I'm back. Got the Sig556 out again today. Got it topped off still with the Sightmark FSR. Rained some today. The bugs are really out. Should have brought some more bug spray. Gonna do a little bit of shooting at around 50 yards here, just so you can see how the rifle actually kicks and everything. Side folding stock, I guess. Let's get into it. The downside with the sling attachment point on this side is, as you see, it does get in the way of the stock unfolding. Make sure you pay attention to where your covers are, so when you go to charge the rifle and it cycles, it's not grabbing onto the little caps of your scope. I gotta say, I don't think it has a whole lot of recoil to it. I mean, it's comparable to what an AR is in a 5.56. Little bit what we can do next is to see how it performs going through like a down tree that I have to simulate what would be a barrier that it might have to go through. So I'll get into a little bit of that next. Here I've got a tree that has fallen down, so a little bit of a obstacle between me and my target. We'll do some shooting with a 69 grain hollow point round that was manufactured by Frontier Ammo, which I believe is a subsidiary of Hornady. We'll see how it does going through like small branches and leaves, that kind of stuff. With a steel target, it's going to be a instant notification with the ring of the steel if the round makes it there. I did have one miss there, but shooting through the brush there, it wasn't that big of an issue. So as long as it's not overly obscured, you should be able to sneak your rounds through any open areas in order to get to your target. I've now walked it back to probably approximately 80 yards offhand with a 2 MOA dot on the Sightmark FSR while still trying to shoot through a low-hanging tree. We'll see how this does. Three out of 4, 75%, isn't too bad for offhand at this range. Now with this sight, it is not that complicated, I would say, to make a easy hit on a target out to 100 yards. My steel target down there is a 2/3, I believe it's a D size target for shooting. Basically be a 2/3 size silhouette target. I'm not 100% sure on the measurements, but I should be able to include those possibly in a next coming video. Back, got my Sig 556, chambered in, of course, 5.56 by 4.5 millimeter, or more commonly known as a 223 Remington, shooting the 69 grain Hornady Frontier ammunition. Going to see how it does on a gallon of water that has been dyed a bluish purple. Going to be impossible to miss. In 3, 2, 1. And looks like I shot a little low and accidentally hit my chair. But definitely had a decent explosion on it. I don't always wear a raincoat, but when I do, they are by Farmer Rain. Both my jacket and my pants are both made by Farmer Rain, and they were custom made for me. Go to farmerrain.com to learn more. Previous rifle was a Sig 556. I've been seeing a lot of YouTubers, gun tubers if you will, doing G3s. I actually happen to have a G3. Clone, of course. Mine is manufactured by JLD Enterprises, and the model is PTR91. Now that might sound familiar because there is a company now called PTR. This rifle here predated that company. This is back when the PTR91 was the model designation and not the manufacturer. This is a 16-inch Kurz model. The interesting thing with this is 16-inch barrel. The actual barrel to front of the cocking tube is the same length as what it is on an 18-inch full-size G3 clone or HK91. This has a shortened cocking tube and will use a little bit shortened forearm. It took me a little while, but I finally did find a wide forearm for this rifle. Let's go ahead and shoot the milk jug with a 308 cartridge and see if we can't get a lot more splatter with it than what was with the 556 cartridge with a 69 grain round. This is shooting a 150 grain American Eagle by Federal. This is, of course, is a full metal jacket round, where that last round with the Sig556 was a hollow point. We'll see if we've got much of a difference. Hold that thought, I had to make sure I had my other camera running, otherwise I'd have no slow motion of it. As you can see, 308 does considerably more than what a 556 does. In fact, I've got splash all the way back on my phone that I'm using to record this with right now. Can't wait to see what that looks like in the high speed. I guess if you got to choose between a 556 or a 308 here, probably better suited with the 308.